Right, there's 5 sequences on the board here, okay? Do any of them have anything in common? Are there any that just don't follow the general sort of trend of the others, okay? Just have a moment to think about it. Maybe pause the video. Okay, right. So the thing is, these sequences here, they've all got something in common, okay? That is that, if you look, this one all goes up in 2s, this one all goes down in 3s, this one all goes up in 1s. They've all got what we call common differences, okay? They've got common differences. This one doesn't. It's a quadratic sequence. There's no common difference between them. This one doesn't have a common difference either, okay? This one's called something else, okay? This one, something interesting has happened, okay? So this one, you're doubling each number, okay? This one's called a geometric sequence, okay? It's arithmetic if it's always going up or down by the certain amount, what we call a common difference, or it's geometric if there's a multiplying factor, okay? It's an nth term to this would be 2 to the power of n. Important if you're doing computer science, okay? Or it's important anyway, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub off these ones here because these do not fit the same category as the sort of sequences I'm going to talk about in this session now, okay? So these are what we call arithmetic sequences, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just adjust the title there and I'm going to put in the word arithmetic there. And you need to know what an arithmetic sequence is. An arithmetic sequence is a sequence where there's a common difference between the terms, okay? A common difference between the terms. Now I'm going to introduce some shorthand notation for you. So I have to do this a little bit again because the video recording stopped, okay? So there we go. I was about to write this up, okay? With arithmetic sequences, I'm going to introduce some shorthand notation for you, okay? So often we use letter A to represent the first term of a sequence, because we're usually given the first term, aren't we? Okay, we call that A. D we use to represent what? Yeah. Common and difference. And we generally use N to represent number of terms. Now that could be, like if you're interested in the 50th term, N is 50. Okay? Or it could be if you want to work out what the 25th term is, N is 25, and so on. Okay? Sometimes use L to represent the last term, but won't write it down. Okay? Now, these are for arithmetic sequences only. There's a common difference, okay, for an arithmetic sequence. Okay? I'm going to write down the general expression for what an arithmetic sequence is. Okay, so an arithmetic sequence looks like this. The first term is always A, but what is an expression for the second term? I'll tell you, A plus D, because you take the first term and you add on whatever the common difference is, don't you? Can you think of what the third term would be? Yeah, so you'd add on D to that. Remember, the common difference D means you always add on D to each term. So you do D, add it to that, and then add on D to that, you could get A plus 2D, aren't you? Can you do one more for me? Can you do what the fourth term is? Okay, you get A plus 3D, and so on. Now I'm going to write down what the nth term is. Okay? The nth term, sometimes called the last term, so I'll put in brackets there, last term. Sometimes you use the letter L to represent last term. What's the expression for the nth term going to be? It's going to be A plus N minus 1D. Not ND, not ND, N minus 1D. I'll show you why. So, first term, 0D. Second term, 1D. Third term, 2D. Fourth term, 3D. Nth term, N minus 1D. You see? It'd be useful that you write this information down, okay? Including that. That's a very handy formula, okay, that you should try and learn, okay? All of that is on page 53 in your textbook, okay, where they introduce for you exactly the same notation. And we use the same notation when we do this at A level as well, okay, and it will come up in A level, so knowing about it now is important, not only for this year but for the next 2 years to come as well, okay, for those you do A-level maths. Now, hopefully you can make a note of that. Pause the video if you need to make a note of it. But if you're ready, I'll just set you a question to do. So, here we go. Done. So here's the question. So the first 3 terms of an arithmetic sequence are, I'll give you an easy one, okay? 5, 7, 9. Find the 20th term. Okay, pause the video and see if you can do it. Unpaused? Great. Okay. Now you may have done it using a different method. Okay, but listen to this method because this is generally speaking the preferred method. And I'm going to say to you that I've chosen a really simple example here. So you could have used a variety of methods. You could probably even count it up to the 20th term, to be honest, and still got the right answer. Okay, but I've chosen a simple example so that the working I put down the board is also simple. So I'm going to write down what the first term is. A, remember, that's 5. Then I'm going to write down what the common difference is. D, which is 2, because it's going up in 2, isn't it? And I'm going to use N as 20. I'm going to assume there's 20 terms in the sequence. I'm going to look at the last term with N equals 20. If you remember the formula, A plus N minus 1D, that gives us that nth term, in this case the 20th term, and I'm going to put the numbers in. So A is 5, and then N minus 1, so that's going to be 19, and then D is 2 multiplied by 2. So that is 5 plus 38. 43. And that is it. Okay, 43 is the 20th term. Okay. Do you want another example? I thought you'd say yeah. I thought you'd say yes. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the sequence. Okay. And maybe instead of the 20th term, I'll put in the 30th term, yeah? And I'm going to keep this there. And then I'm going to get rid of this. That's a template then, really, it should follow. Okay, works in year 12 as well, for when you're doing this in year 12. So the first terms of an arithmetic sequence are, whatever they are, write down what A, D and N are, substitute to formula. That's it, that's all it is. Okay. And that's why I'd rather use this method, you see, because it's exactly the same no matter what the arithmetic sequence is. As long as it is an arithmetic sequence, then you're fine. Okay. There are other formula exists for other sequences, like the geometric one I showed you earlier. Yes, there's a formula for that, but we'll just do the arithmetic one. So what can I give you for an arithmetic sequence? Okay, I'll give you this one. So 10, 3, negative 4. Okay, so let's go. Oh, pause the video first. Right, let's go. So A equals 10, common difference is negative 7. It's going down, isn't it? So 10 and then subtract 7, subtract 7. If we'd written just 7, that would be positive 7. That would be for the sequence 10, 17, 24, going up. So make sure you've got a negative value of D there. N, we're going to use number 30 for the 30th term. And we'll just substitute into this expression here. So A, 10, plus N minus 1, so it's 29, multiplied by negative 7, so it's negative 7. 29 bracket negative 7 means 29 multiplied by negative 7. And we'll just work out what that is. 29 times negative 7. Well, let me help you out. So 30 times 7, that would be 210. Yeah? But you want 29 times 7, so subtract 7. That gives you 203. Or, alternatively, you do 7 times 20, 140. And then 9 times 7, 63. And add the two together, gives you, again, 203. Whichever way you do it, you get 203. Okay, so 10, subtract 203. And that's equal to negative 193. Okay? Negative 193. And that's it. Okay? Right, in terms of the textbook questions, okay, well, they're on page 54, right, and page 55. Okay? Exercise 5 will do, but if you want extra practice, then exercise 5 star, yeah, will be fine. Okay. Use any method you want to get the right answer, but this method is designed to try and help you to get there a lot more quickly. All right? Okay. Well, there you go. Have fun.